Baby, I've been thinking about you.
Now, back to the only show educating you with the face-to-face system and opposites attract connection. Here's your host, Daaiyah Cixx.
You guys, we are back. Oh my goodness, with author Robert Williams, and we're going to get into the love part, you guys. Okay, Robert, you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so when we talk about love, right? I guess my question is, what is the state of love? What is being in a loving state? Maybe there we go. What is being in a loving state? Because a lot of people don't know, a little confused.
Well, it's one of those wonderful words that, depending upon what state you're in, what state of consciousness, the definition changes. When I was in those other realms after my near-death experience, there was a place that I call complete light, complete love. Mm-hmm. And it was undescribable with any other word. So when I talk about love, I include all the other qualities of love. I have my 12-year-old has a little folder on her iPhone that says "Cute Boys I Love."
Okay.
So I'm not going to say you don't love them. It is we all. So I was a good father. I didn't destroy that. I didn't trash her file. Love is one of those things that we can grow, and it still works. That word still works. So there is a state where there is no fear because we've already reconciled this dilemma of life and death, a source of forgiveness, even if we can't stand to think about what happened, and a source of compassion. And it's a relationship. It's the most fundamental relationship. The closest thing that I can give as an example is mother's love. When a child is born and a mother is there, especially in those first years,
yes.
She's not thinking, "What am I going to get out of this deal here?"
Right.
I mean, what's in it for me? Why should I? It's just an automatic. It's
yes,
silly
it
to even think.
Right.
And I'm sure there's some horrible exceptions in history, but that mother's love doesn't have to be learned. It doesn't have to be taught.
No.
It doesn't have to even be understood.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I tell a lot of my listeners, especially when they come to me with relationship issues and problems and they want to solve them, I say, well, first of all, are you a parent? A lot of them are. So I say, well, have you learned how to love your husband, your wife, your spouse the way you've loved your child? And a lot of them say no. I said, then why do you think that is? Why is it that you can love your child unconditionally, but when it comes to your lover or your husband or your wife, you limit yourself? And this is what I want to ask you, because most people will have only one near-death experience. You've had a couple. How many have you had?
I've had 3 that were major ones.
Uh-huh.
Then I actually learned. Here's my, confession.
Uh-huh.
I learned between 1979 and 1985 to consciously go through what they call the death porthole. And so that's something, don't do this at home, but because I was so liberated from that 1979 experience, and I knew there wasn't really a permanent death. There was a change of form, there was a change of environment, and time. The time factor comes in. But I would sit and I would meditate, and I'd say prayers, and I would locate what I was resisting. And instead of trying to patch that up or do anything with it, I would go deeper and deeper and deeper. And eventually it would lead to a very primal fear that I had. And eventually it would actually lead to just the fear of death and the body's resistance. Bodies are our temples, and this is a golden age of aliveness in our bodies.
Baby, I've been thinking
To go through that porthole and communicate with other beings and see other things and then come back into my body.